Hey guys, John McCown here. In the garage, working on the bike today. Got another race next weekend. And I saw that post on Reddit from somebody with the handle Mach1 asking about body position. And it's something that is super important. So I thought I'd just chime in with a little bit of experience on that myself. The question that you were asking was about moving back in the seat. And for me, that was a huge thing. I think, to hang off the bike, get your knee down, be stable in the turns, be confident trail braking. It usually starts with body position. So if you take a track day with instruction or a school, you're going to hear about body position a lot. Funny story I can share with you is I was coaching at the racing school here in Colorado this year, and I had two students, and one of them was like an ex-racer. He didn't need a lot of instruction. The other's a friend of mine, and he wouldn't mind me mentioning this, but he was struggling with being crossed up, and mainly his head was over the tank. He'd get his hips over, but he wasn't really getting his knee down, and I could tell from his upper body that his elbows were stiff, and he was, just not getting confidence in the turns, and his times around the track reflected that. So we kept working on it. He finally got it at the last session, and it was like angels singing. He dropped a ton of time going around the track, and it all had to do with both body position and also the fact that he didn't realize he was putting so much weight on his hands. So, and here's kind of what made sense of that for him, that I guess I learned from and just working with him. And that is that we could talk about body position and all the steps of moving back in the seat a couple of inches and break it down step by step. I think a lot of people look for a recipe, but then it's hard to implement. You get on the track and the same survival instincts catch in, and your inner arm gets stiff, and it's just hard to hang off, and you start rotating around the tank, which is the number one reason why I think people don't get their knee down. And he commented that it was just a lot to remember, all the steps. So I'll go through the steps with you, but I'll tell you how he was able to do it. I said to him, as you're approaching the turn, I'll cut to the chase on that and then I'll break it down. As you're approaching the turn, come up with some kind of mental training note, like, scoot. For him, I said, for me, like, let's just try scoot, lock, and drop. So what do I mean by that? Scoot your butt directly to the side, lock your outer knee in, and then drop your elbow, drop your shoulder. And you should try to get your spine lined up with the edge of the bike. So, I told him, I said, don't care. Let's not try to go too fast. Let's just go out and do that, scoot, lock, and drop, just training exercise and see how it goes, right? We go out and he comes by, like I'm behind him, and I see his body position just took a huge, turn for the better. And I think a lot of it was the outside knee. Most folks, when they're trying to hang off, get their knee down or whatever, you rotate around the tank, and that closes up your outer hip and your knee never gets down. So if you, to the point of Mach1 on Reddit, move back 2 to 3 inches, straight back in the seat, approaching the turn while you're braking. And then you want to come directly off to the side until kind of your crotch is on the edge of the seat. Not any more than that. And at that point, your outer knee should be able to lock onto the tank. If you don't have any sort of tank grips, it's really difficult to achieve that. I mean, I'd highly recommend you get some kind of tank grips. I make my own, and there's, I've got tons and tons of HydroTurf that I make my own seats out of, and my own tank pads. But anyways, you want to have some good tank grips, and then the key is to not put too much weight on that inner arm. You really want to try to point that elbow down, put your head kind of where the mirror would be, and make sure that you're holding up your body weight with that inside foot and that outside knee. And if you do that while looking through the turn, you're gonna find that everything feels better. As far as like being forward or back on the bike through the turn and weight distribution, I kind of got what you were saying about that. I think if you scoot back those 2-3 inches, it's not going to unweight the front to the point where it's an issue. Where you're kind of more worried with front traction is not on exits anyways, it's going to be on the entrance. So for turns that don't offer a lot of grip on entry, you want to be trail braking in anyways to load the tire. Kind of a more advanced topic. Maybe I'll do a video on that. But as far as body position, where you're sitting in the seat, I just wanted to touch on those things. Hope that helps.